If you liked what you saw in this video, give it a like and subscribe to our channel. If you'd like a free quote from Absolute Home Services, give us a call or send us an email. Today we're going to clean the inside and outside of these windows. Cleaning your windows once or twice a year can really make your house look great. We're going to clean the inside and the outside of the glass. We're also going to pull off the screens and clean all the screens. And we're going to clean the outside of the windows to get all this dirt off the tracks and the sills of the windows. Okay, we're all set up here to do the exterior window cleaning of the house, and we've got all our tools and equipment ready to go. So you're gonna need a ladder when you're doing window cleaning, obviously, to get up to some of the higher windows. You're gonna need a bucket, you're gonna need some soap, you're gonna need a washer, a squeegee, and 3 rags. We have a 3-rag system. We have 1 rag, which is our wet rag. That's what we use to clean it off initially to get all the real dirt and grime off. We have a 2nd rag, which is a cleaner rag that we use after we've done some cleaning. And then we've got our last rag that we keep in our back pocket. It's called the buffer. We only use that right at the end just to buff off the windows. So 3 rags, really important. These are the tools you need to get started. Okay, so step 1 of the 7 steps is to clean off around the whole window. And I'm gonna use my wet rag for that. So I've just done 1 quick pass with the wet rag, and as you can see, I've already got quite a bit of gunk on this. This is why you want to use a 3-bag system, because you certainly don't want this to be your buffer rag. Okay, step 2 is to actually wash the window. So we're gonna grab our washer, get it nice and soapy, and get it onto here. We wanna make sure we get it into all those edges. We wanna make sure we get it nice and wet. So we're gonna use our other rag. We're gonna use 2 fingers, and we're gonna do the top and side of the window. So we're at the squeegee. So we always wanna start at the top on the edges that we've just cleaned. We wanna go with lots of pressure and go right across. Clean it off with our rag. We wanna make sure that there's a bit of overlap onto the one before. Go across, clean it off. And I went horizontally on this, which made a bunch of passes. Another option is to go vertically, and you could just have to do 2 passes, but you have to have a bit more control to be able to do it all the way through. So step 5 is to clean the last 2 edges that we haven't cleaned yet. Pretty simple step. So step 6 is to use the wet rag and go around the edges and clean off all the excess water. So now we're gonna do the interior of the windows, and that's kind of really important because you can clean all the outside, but if the insides are dirty, it's not really gonna be as effective. So interior window cleaning is just like exterior, except you have to be a bit more careful because you can't be spraying water all over the interior of somebody's house. So we've got a drop sheet here that we're gonna use to make sure that no water gets onto their nice hardwood floors. And you can see here we've got a screen, so we also clean the screens because we're going to clean the inside of the window, the outside, and the screen. So we'll start by pulling out the screen and cleaning it right inside. Okay, so we're going to put it on this drop sheet here, so if any excess water gets put on there. And we're going to use the washer. We're gonna make sure that the washer isn't full of water. So I'll put that there for a sec. I'm just gonna get rid of any excess water on this squeegee or this washer so that it's not dripping all over the place. And I'm gonna clean both sides of the screen. Okay, so we're gonna use our rag to clean off. There's lots of water you see inside of all of the holes there. So we're gonna use our rag to clean it off. Some people like to take the screens out, hose them off, but we find this is the most efficient and effective way. When you're using it by hand with the washer and the rag, you really get the best results to get the screens cleaned. All right, now we got a nice clean screen. We can start working on the glass. Okay, so we're gonna do the inside cleaning of this window, and we're gonna use the 7 steps to cleaning a window. And we're gonna use the 3-rag system. So you wanna have a wet rag, you wanna have a damp rag, and you wanna have a buffer rag. This rag has to be super dry to be used just for the end. and your wet rag isn't the same as an exterior rag. You don't want it to be sopping wet, and you don't need it to be because the inside of a window is not as dirty as the outside. So step 1, clean the outside of the window. Step 2 to the cleaning process is to actually wash the window. Now this will be really wet, and on the outside of the house that's really nice, but on the inside we don't want all this excess water, so we're going to clean it off a bit so it's not dripping everywhere on our house. Get rid of that excess water. Want to make sure that we get it really wet. Want to make sure we get really into the edges and the corners. So step 3 is to clean 2 edges with your 2 fingers. Step 4 is to use the squeegee. Make sure it's nice and dry. Give it a nice little clean before you go after it. Start on the corners that you cleaned with your fingers and go nice and hard from top to bottom. Again, make sure you clean your squeegee off. And as you can see, it's a little harder when you go top to bottom than horizontally. You've got to keep lots of control going through. So next time I think I'll go horizontal. So a quick tip when you're using the squeegee is you want to have the angle like this versus like this. And you don't need to push too hard. So you just want to make sure you have that angle out nice and a nice little bit of pressure on the window. So step 5 is to clean the last 2 edges that we didn't clean the first time with our fingers. Step 6 is just to clean off any loose water we might have around the window. On the interior, we didn't use as much water, so it's a little bit, but there still is some drips over here. We want to have it nice and dry for them, especially on the inside of the window. Step 7, most important step, is to inspect the window to make sure that there is no dirt or anything left over. We take our buffer rag if we see anything. We just use 1 finger, take a good look around and make sure we did a good job. And if you see anything, just give it a little clean. Okay, so we just finished up cleaning the interior of the windows with our 7-step process and our 3 rags. Biggest difference on the inside is just to make sure you're careful with the water. You're not splashing it all around. Leave a nice dry space for your customer. We cleaned the screen as well. We're gonna put that back in. The place is looking great. If you liked what you saw today, you can like or subscribe to Absolute Home Services, or you can give us a call and we can give you a free quote and we can come around and clean all your windows for you. It's fall here in Ontario and the leaves are starting to fall and they're landing inside of the gutters of people's houses. When those gutters get full of leaves and debris and dirt, they can get clogged and it won't allow the water to flow from the roof to the downspouts. So it's really important that once, maybe twice a year, depending on where you live, that you get into these gutters with your hands, pull out all the dirt and debris, and make sure that water's flowing nicely. Okay, so we're gonna get up and clean these gutters. So you just need 4 things to do some gutter cleaning. First thing you need is a ladder, and those are called ladder stabilizers or ladder arms. They help get above the eaves trough. If you use those, 1, they're safer, and 2, they'll prevent the ladder from laying on the eaves trough, and so there won't be any dents in the eaves trough. So ladder stabilizer and a ladder number 1, a bucket number 2, so that you can carry this up and down the ladder and put the debris inside. And then once I come down from the ladder, I dump it into one of these leaf bags and I can put that by the curb for somebody to pick up. And the other thing you really want is gloves, because it's pretty messy. You want to keep your hands clean, and it's also safer because you never know what might be inside of that gutter. So I just basically get up, take a look, and get my hands in there and pull out any debris I can and put it into the bucket and go all the way along. And I'm going to move my ladder all the way across the eaves trough until I've got all the debris. This is going to allow water to come off the roof into the eaves trough and flow nicely into the downspout away from your home. Really important thing to do at least once or twice a year. So we've just cleaned this section of the eaves trough, and what you can see is we've already got quite a bit of leaves and also a lot of dirt and gunk in there. So you can see inside the bag, there's a ton of dirt just from this one quick section. Once you've done the eaves troughs, you also have to check the downspouts because they can also get really clogged. And I can show you an advanced tip of how to use a hose to get those downspouts unclogged. So here's a pro tip for you. You might have cleaned all your eaves trough, but water is still not flowing out of your downspout. that could mean that your downspout is really clogged, and that's hard to get to. So one thing you can do is take a hose and put it into the top of the downspout and push it in and turn the water on. That will shoot water through, and you can snake through the hose, and that'll clean through your whole downspout. Let me show you how. The water is starting to come down through the downspout. You can see it coming out, but it looks like we've got this leak unclogged. Okay, so we've gone around the house, we've cleaned out all the eaves troughs and gutters. We've also made sure that the downspouts are clean of any debris and any leaves. This is a really important maintenance thing that you do to your house at least once, maybe twice a year. It's important that water can flow off your roof, into your eaves, and down your downspouts. If you're not making sure that those are unclogged, you could have water damage inside of your home. So if you like what you learned today, take a subscribe and a like to Absolute Home Services, or give us a call for a free quote and we'll come out and do the work for you. And if you don't want to do this once or twice a year, a great solution is to get gutter guards that you put on top of the eaves troughs, and that stops debris from getting in, so you won't have to do it very often. Okay, so we're going to clean the outside of these gutters. Sometimes mildew can really grow on the outside of gutters and they start to look pretty old, but with a little bit of cleaning, you can get these gutters looking like brand new with some soap, some water, and some hard work. These gutters are going to look great. Okay, so we're going to clean the outside of the eaves troughs and soffits here. As you can see, they're pretty stained with mildew, which happens to all eaves troughs over time, and a lot of them are white. So we're going to clean them. From here, we can just use this scrub brush because it's nice and low. Otherwise, you might have to get on a ladder, but this scrub brush is a great tool. We're going to use this siding cleaner. This siding cleaner can be used manually, or it can be used with a power washer, where the power washer sucks it in and you spray it on. But we're going to use it manually. I find using a scrub brush and really getting some elbow grease into cleaning the eaves trough is the best way to do it. So we're going to put some water into this bucket, and then we're going to dilute it with, so we're going to use water dilute the solution of this siding cleaner. And one other tip is just to pre-water some of this. It will work better if it's just rinsed off a little bit first too. So I always like to make sure you put the water in first before you put the solution in, so that it's diluted in case there's any spray back there. Okay, so I've scrubbed it on, rinse it off. Okay, so I've done just a small section and it looks way better, but there is still some staining there, so I'm going to take a second pass at it. One thing I like to do is make sure that I'm keeping this really full and agitating it and making it bubbly. That will make it more effective. So I'm going to do a second pass at this. Okay, so I've used the scrub brush twice on this section of the eaves trough and soffit. It's much cleaner than it was, and you can see from looking at the other part how much we've gotten off. It's certainly not brand new, and there's some deep staining, and often on white eaves trough and soffits you'll have deep staining. You won't be able to get everything off unless you paint it. But this looks way better than it did. So once we're done this section, we want to clean off this deck. It's got a lot of soap, you can see. And by the way, we actually revitalized this deck. You can see a video of us taking it from bare wood, cleaning it, sanding it, and putting this nice solid stain on it. So you can see the link to that video below. But I'm going to clean off all this soap so that it doesn't wreck our freshly stained deck. Okay, so we've gone around and cleaned all the exterior of the gutters and the soffits to get some of that black mildew off. This is something that's really easy to do with some vinyl and siding and eaves trough cleaner. You can do it yourself, or you can call Absolute and we'll do it for you. Some of these areas are pretty high up as 20 feet, so you might not be comfortable getting on a ladder. We've got crews who are trained in safety and have the right equipment. So give us a call at Absolute Home Services for a free quote on your eaves trough siding cleaning. And you can like and subscribe if you like this video.